I'm Andrew.
Hey, I'm Shane.
Welcome to End the Weekend. This is our first podcast slash YouTube episode. I think we're going to decide to record some of our podcast on the YouTube channel, so anyone who has time to spare can watch as well. So I guess who are we and what is End the Weekend about? I think we shall start off with what End the Weekend about is. So if you hadn't heard our trailer episode that we put out on the podcasts, it's essentially a clip taken from a 2019 interview with Scott Morrison saying that electric cars will end the weekend, hence the show. Now, there may be some valid points to some of the things he mentions in that interview if you actually sit down and watch the interview. But essentially what he's calling out is everything you like to do on the weekend may not necessarily be able to do with electric cars. Does he have a point?
Look, he's got a point, and we'll take it out of context a little bit, but I think it's the market's grown and we're starting to really be able to get there.
Yeah, so. Exactly. So, look, that's our goal is at the moment to basically give a end the weekend score to everything we look at and review / talk about, and we'll do a weekly podcast. Basically, Shane and I cars, and basically what our experience has been. So, who am I? I'm Andrew. I like to do a lot of motorsport stuff. So I have a 2020 WRX, and I have a 1999 WRX. I like to do a fair bit of motorsport. Motorcar is my go-to sport, which is just driving around in circles, essentially, around cones to see who can set the fastest time. What do I like to do on the weekend? So that's one of the things. Road trips, weekends away, biking trips. I think Shane and I, we like to do a fair bit of mountain biking, so putting the bikes on the car and trailers are pretty important. As well as, the odd weekend away to the snow or something like that. Very rare, I guess, these days, especially after lockdown. But hoping that this year we'll get back into it. So, Shane, who are you? What are you about?
So I'm Shane. I, similar to Andrew, have a few things like the mountain biking that we like to do that'll be pretty important. We like going for hikes and sort of getting out of the bush a little bit. Occasionally going to the beach. Just looking for things like that we can end the weekend with.
Yeah. Drive-in theatres, that type of stuff. Yeah. So what's coming up in our upcoming episodes for podcast? So I think next week might start on a bit of a history lesson and what electric cars were, where they came from.
That was I've already learned a few things in the research for it, so I think that it might surprise some people how long they've been around for, electric cars, and I think that'll be a fun one.
Yeah. Well, one of us will eventually buy an electric car, and we will share that experience once that comes around. So we're looking forward to doing an episode on that too. But as time goes on, we'll bring in more content, and I think we'll start to talk about the things that are important to you guys. So feel free to leave feedback to the show. We'll leave some things in the show notes on how to get in contact with us and ask the questions that you guys have, and we'll try and answer them as best we can. I think one of the most things, like when I talk to people, is definitely range anxiety. Is how bad is it here in Australia? We'll go into depth on what the charger networks look like and whether it's actually doable or not.
Yeah, maybe do some road trip planning. There's some apps out there that'll help you out. And I think I've got to mention it before, but we currently have a 2014 Mazda 3 single car household, imminently looking at getting an electric car, which is pretty exciting. Yeah. And
you got solar on the roof too, so it kind of makes a lot of sense for someone like you.
Yeah, something that really resonates with me, being able to sort of charge at home where possible. Yeah. But not that you have to do that. You can charge from any wall port.
And that brings us to maybe one of the other talking points we may have in a later episode is around where's your power come from? Is it really green? All that kind of stuff. So we're going to try and be as level-headed as possible and not just tell you that electric cars are the future and it's definitely the only way forward. We definitely want to give it the end the weekend score, which will come soon in our new episodes, and we'll try and rate our experiences, and hopefully we'll get to talk to some people in the business too We have some people we'd like to talk to, and hopefully we can get some interviews with, and get the feedback from the audience and try and get as much as we can answered for you guys.
So, Andrew, how do we know each other?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I guess we're both in the tech industry. We both work in IT. We met each other in a 2004 traineeship that we both worked in. So we're both in the tech sector, hence why we want to talk about electric cars and tech. I think there's a lot of great electric cars that have a lot of great tech, which hence, I guess, gives us a lot of interest and knowledge, and kind of because we work in the industry and that kind of stuff, I think that also makes us more interested in the tech.
Yeah, there's some really cool tech that I guess they go sort of hand in hand a little bit, the EVs and the tech world. So, I think we'll be able to sort of keep an eye on how the battery tech evolves and how it aligns with some of the work we do. And
yeah, absolutely. So I think this is it for episode 1. Thanks for listening if you have. Join in with us next week, and we will start to talk more in the weekend tech.
Yeah.
So see you later.
Have fun ending the weekend.
And end the weekend. How long do you reckon that is before we do it?
7 minutes.